Welcome back to BaldHeaded Metal, guys. My name is Joseph. Today, another Jinjer reaction. This time around to a song that's sung completely in Russian called "I Want It and I'll Get It." Actually, the direct translation is a little bit different. Желаю, значит, получу means I wish and I'll get it. Not I want it, but the semantics, not a big deal. You guys see that I've been enjoying recently the Jinjer songs more and more. It'll be interesting to hear a song completely in Russian, how much of it I can actually understand. Because I do speak fluent Russian. I am from Russia myself. I know they are from Ukraine, so it's going to be interesting to hear the song. It's also the earlier music, and from what I understand, I'm enjoying more of the earlier stuff because it's more Lamb of God inspired, and I really like Lamb of God. All right, let's do it without any further ado. Just be prepared. I'm going to be 100% honest for those who are new to this channel. You might like what I say, you might not like it. Okay, I'm gonna like this. I already know it. I'm gonna stop this because I know where this comes from. That moment where they were doing the boat, rowing the boat on the floor, rowing the boat. I am pretty sure I was at the concert when it was first started, back in the 2000s with Amon Amarth. They were playing one of their songs, and some guy jumped on the ground, just started doing it, and everybody was really confused. And we jumped all on the ground and started rowing together. And I have a feeling that was one of the moments where it started picking up and they started kind of introducing it more and more. Or unless I just didn't know about it, and that's kind of, in that moment in time, was completely new to me. I right away liked the sound way more from what I've heard in their beginning, like all the later stuff or more proggy stuff. I know there's three different camps for Jinjer. There's people who like the older stuff more, people who like the new stuff more, the more progressive stuff, and there's people just who like Jinjer overall. I tend to like the older stuff more. Sounds very much like Lamb of God. I know it sounds less unique, so to say, to what Jinjer is now, but I still like that they maintain their progressive elements in their music. That's something that you hear from the very beginning, from all the songs that I've heard. It's been a similar thread. They are more technical in their music playing. They don't just play like the same riff like Papa Roach or some shit like that. They switch up their music, and I really enjoy that. And her vocal performance, I mean, her growls are always awesome, but let's kind of get into it. I don't know if it's the same. I didn't know this. I know Tatiana wasn't the singer always for Jinjer, but I believe that is still her. There's one thing I noticed. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I already know it, so I'm just gonna say what I think. You even see the different style of their music videos, their performances. Everything has changed up until their new progressive stuff. They went from this very thrashy metalcore-ish new metal attitude of like, we're just having fun, we're partying, we're going for it. They have all this raggy, like kind of raggedy hair and scruggly beard and everything like that. Very, very metal 2000s kind of thing going on, with all the new wave of American metal, like thrash metal, and you know, with everything with like Lamb of God era, Hate Breed, and then in this new version of Jinjer, they want to act a little bit more, it seems like to me, classier, that they've somehow progressed above that, or they're different a little bit, and maybe they just kind of calm down as a band and as people. But their performance style is absolutely different. Her performance style is absolutely different. And what I think I'm going to get flagged for saying this is how much of it is genuine and how much of it is to appeal to the genre that you're playing. Now, I cannot answer that question personally. I'm gonna ask that question of you guys, because I don't know enough of them to really judge that. If I'm saying my gut reaction is not a positive one. My gut reaction is they're doing it because that's the way you're supposed to perform in that style of music. And believe me, I've heard it before. There was a band, I'm gonna let you know right now. Let me just quickly look it up. I found the band, and that's the band I was talking about, Lazarus AD. If any of you guys ever listened to this band, if you listened to their first album before the studio really got their hands on them, the album sounded a lot more raw and interesting, and you know, their own sound. And then you would hear the Blood River Flow, I believe is the second album, and it feels like a studio album. And there's nothing kind of good about it. But it's just, I'm not even saying that's what happened with Jinjer in particular. This happened actually with Exodus as well, where Gary Holt talked about how he one time wrote an album, Force of Habit, for the studio, because the studio asked him, hey, this is going to be the popular thing, this is going to be the great thing to do. And they played an album, created, and they regretted it here. And the point I'm making with Jinjer is, I'm not necessarily saying Jinjer appealed to a label or a studio to create a particular album, but to me personally, it feels more like once they progress to this more progressive side of heavy metal, they drastically change who they are as a band. They drastically change how they act as a band. Their performance as a band has absolutely shifted in a different direction. And whether that's something you like or not, care or not for, that's up to you. I really don't have a stake in it really either way, because I'm more of an onlooker from the side, because I'm still relatively new to the band, listening to like 5 songs. You know, I haven't listened to an album fully, which I will do. King of Everything, I remember you guys recommend. I will listen to that whole album and I'll review it. But let's keep going with the song. Yeah, perfect place to pause. I like the old Jinjer. I like this very, very much. I understand, first of all, what I said is gonna piss people off. I get it. I'm used to it already. But I also understand the older style of Jinjer. Like, the counter argument to what I've been saying is the older style of Jinjer stands out less. It's less of a unique sound, because it sounds like the standard kind of new wave of American thrash metal. They have that sound to their music, but to me, I don't need it to stand out for it to be good. Just play well, which they do. They play really well. They keep their progressive elements that they have in their new music. They actually can see the foundation in this older album as well. and it just sounds raw. I like about what I like about the song particularly, and I like Outlander and Cloud Factory, is it sounds very raw, and that's what I really appreciate about it and really like it. I can see myself downloading their discography now and actually going through it because I like what I hear from this particular album. I don't know how much I'm gonna like the newer stuff because there's a sense of, and I'm not the only one to say this, just keep in mind, I've gotten a lot of comments saying this particular thing. Sometimes it felt like it was a little progressive for the sake of being progressive. That's what it sounded like to me. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I know a lot of people are gonna be upset for that, but that's the way it feels like in their newer style. Once the new drummer, the Bald guy, came in and introduced his background influences and his style music, and they were influenced by that. Of course, as a band, they have to write the music together. It has influenced them into this more sophisticated, quote unquote, direction, which obviously is garnering them a lot more recognition, thanks obviously to the YouTube sphere, where people with the reactions got a lot of kind of spotlight on them, and later on just kind of garnering more eyes of having that kind of progressive metal that they've been doing. That it's interesting. It's an interesting progression from the band. They're not only ones that have gotten those drastic changes. I know Opeth got a lot of flack for changing their music a lot as well, and I believe it's just as a fan, you're either on that journey throughout, or you stick to the bands, the albums that you are okay with, or you just leave the journey overall. It's really just kind of up to you. Honestly speaking, the reason I keep reacting to it is because I'm having very drastic difference kind of opinion on this band, and I'm starting to form it as a whole on these reactions, and you're just getting this absolutely raw explanation of how I feel. Now, there's some of you who are very understanding and supportive about that, and some of you who are not, but you know, we'll deal with it. Let's just have a conversation about this band. I already, like I've said, I've seen a bunch of you guys already kind of explain yourself that some prefer older, some prefer newer, some prefer all of Jinjer. Anywho, to cut it a little bit short, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction, and if you did, make sure to subscribe down below for more, for these kind of more genuine, honest reactions of the various music that you guys recommend me. Be on the lookout for more Jinjer reactions. This week I'm going to be doing another one, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Keep it metal. Have a good one.